As the world continues to grapple with the coronavirus, Fast Company reports global fashion sales have fallen by 50%. But Telfar, a unisex luxury fashion line, appears to be one of the exceptions. The New York City based label was founded in 2005 by Liberian American fashion designer Telfar Clemens and is sold internationally. And today, Telfar is dropping its latest fashion accessory, but it's not one of the company's highly sought after handbags. It's a durag line. Joining us now to discuss his fashion label and how it has succeeded amid the coronavirus is founder and designer Telfar Clemens. Telfar, thanks so much for joining us. So, the fashion industry, as you know, has taken some hits this year. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, the fashion industry has taken some hits this year. And, most people now, including me, we were talking about this just a couple of days ago, sweatpants are the new fashion accessories, and flip-flops because we're not seeing anybody and we're not hanging out with our friends. We're not going to clubs and to bars and to restaurants. So how was your brand able to adjust and react to the new wave of customers and support amid the outbreak and also the social unrest sparked by police brutality?
Well, I mean, when you said, sweatpants, you really got me. Basically, sweats and COVID go hand in hand together. So basically, we've been planning for this, I feel like since the beginning of the year, just, how we were acting in how we were building our direct to consumer market and, just really, kind of being more in touch with our customer, I would say is like really kind of a core part of our DNA of our brand.
I
And
think your
everything that we
brand is
stand
such
for.
an I was going to say, I think your brand is
Sorry.
such an interesting example of a smaller brand that was able to pivot. A lot of what we saw with kind of the bigger fashion brands is the system within fashion was already broken before COVID, right? They build or they make all this clothes a year in advance with the hope that the customer actually wants to buy it, and then when the customer doesn't buy the clothes, then sometimes they have to buy the clothes back, and there's all this waste in the fashion industry that's not good for the industry. It's not good for the planet. You have this smaller niche market, and you pivoted really quickly to making exactly what's being ordered of you so that there's no excess. I was thinking to myself, and I know that you really lost out on a big deal with the Gap because you were about to really explode and go mainstream, but that deal fell through because of COVID. But I wondered if the fact that you guys are smaller, the fact that you work directly with your consumers, that you were able to set up a system where people paid for a bag and they will get a specific bag manufactured for them, so there will be no excess, is part of the reason why you're able to survive at probably one of the worst times for the fashion industry.
Yeah, I mean, the worst time in the fashion industry has been the best for me because I feel like we don't really fit into the fashion industry. We've always worked differently. We've always done things our own way, and that was like part of like why we introduced the bag security program because it's like this bag is supposed to be accessible, it's supposed to be something that everybody can get. I base the price off of like how much someone in nightlife makes in one night. So I really want this to be something that goes around and something that people have.
Yeah, well, it's worked because your bag is like basically sold out. There's a waiting list for it. Um, did you think, even before COVID, that there were some serious problems with the fashion industry that needed to be corrected?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that needed to be corrected, and I think that that's when, as the industry is collapsing, I feel like our brand is rising because of what we stand for and who we are. Because I think like the world's changing fast, and I feel like it's been changing as you know it's coming closer and closer to my vision of what I see in the world and what I want to see.
Right.
So
So
let me
listen,
ask
before
you
you
real
go, we
quickly
have
before.
to go ahead.
Sorry.
My,
So I think we both want to ask the same question. We both want to ask the same question, Anne-Marie, which is we sort of teased it at the very top when we mentioned that you've got a line of do-rags now. And most people may not be aware that the do-rag served as a function for black men and women long before it was popularized by hip hop culture. And if people are interested, they can sort of Google like the history behind the do-rag and why it was a functional piece of clothing for black men and women in this country going back for generations. But explain what was the inspiration behind the $90 do-rag. And do you fear that there could be some potential kickback from a product and the folks who end up wearing it?
I mean, I've worn a do-rag since I was a child. You know, basically, like, if you know anything about black hair care, it's the cornerstone of, like, you know, how you keep everything in line and, you know, continue and keep your hairstyle. So basically, like, you know, I wanted to have my, you know, take on this, you know, item that's been in my life forever. And, you know, like, I feel like, you know, I make what I need and I make what I feel like, you know, my customer needs. And, you know, this is like our first step into the beauty industry, I would say. So, you know, it's like one of our first accessories of many that you'll see of things that, you know, I use that you need and want. Too.
So let me ask you, you know, the do-rag has been worn by African Americans for decades now. It's part of African American culture, hip hop culture, but you have fans and people who wear your clothing from all over the world. Are you concerned that you may have some white fans who want to wear the do-rag, but, you know, people will accuse them of cultural appropriation?
Well, I mean, you know, if you basically know what this product is and you know the effect that you get from it, you need to be a certain type of person. And basically, if you want to wear this out, you need to be a certain type of person to deal with the reaction that you're going to get. You know, so if you know who it's for, you know, if it's not for you, it's for everyone, but it might need to be for you exactly.
Well, Telfar Clemens, it's not for you, it's for everyone is the line for your clothing. I wish you much, much success. It's really interesting watching you navigate some troubled times where some of the giants are falling and your star seems to be rising. So congratulations and thanks.
Thank you so much. And you can shop now. Get the U-Rag. It's up now. You can buy it now.
It will sell out.
Thank you so much.